Hello, everybody. We are talking eating disorders today. Whew! I've been on coaching calls a lot in the last few days, and this message today is needing to be talked about. So, here's the thing. Lately, I've been working with people who are purging, who are binge eating, and also people who are not doing any of that. But their version of purging or binging looks like being super critical of yourself all the time in the background, beating yourself up all the time for eating off your food plan and for not doing the things that you say that you're going to do. And consider the fact that if that is your habit, if that is your addiction, all of that is an eating disorder. Like, this is actually an eating disorder. Okay, so for example, when I was in like sixth grade or seventh grade, I had my best friend and we would, whatever, eat and hang out and do the things normal seventh graders would do. And I remember starting to hear her stick her finger down her throat and throwing up. Or, obviously I didn't see her do that part, but I would hear her throwing up in the bathroom. And we never talked about it ever. It was weird. It was just like unconscious. Like it was just like an acceptance thing. Like it's never a thing. It wasn't like part of my world. But I remember one day I was too full and I was in her bathroom and I stuck my finger down my throat and I tried to throw up. And I wasn't successful and didn't happen easily. So I didn't do it anymore. But if it had worked, if I was able to throw up, I would have become bulimic, today. I'm sure. Because it's so innocent. We find a way to relieve that feeling too full or whatever that is. And it's like, okay, that worked. So then you do it and then it becomes a habit and it becomes an addiction. Right? Same thing with binging. It's like, okay, right? Like, here's this habit. Now I'm doing it and it helps me soothe my anxiety or my anger or whatever emotion I'm feeling at this time. Now, at some point in our journey, we get to a place where those old behaviors of binging or purging or maybe even beating yourself up, they're no longer working the way that they used to. Because here's the thing about beating yourself up is that it actually, for a time, most likely served you the way that the binging worked and you never even thought twice about it, or the purging worked and you didn't think twice about it. Well, now you're thinking twice about it or a million times about it. And that beating yourself up, it's like that is a motivation tactic for so many of us unconsciously. It's like the drill sergeant saying, like, we got to do this now. Like, we got to get here now. Like, you're failing so and so. Like, drop and give me 50. You know what I mean? So there's a metaphor that I've been using a lot lately. I remember I had a friend growing up, and her mom, when the dog pooped in the house, she would lock the dog in the cage and put its poop with it. And it was like this training way of having him not do that again. Did it work? Absolutely not. And consider the fact that that is what you're doing to yourself every day. You are literally locking yourself in a cage with your own shit in it. Pardon my French. Okay? And it's not fair. And not only is it not fair, it doesn't work. Maybe for a little while, it like whatever. But science has proven now that under the circumstances of unconditional love, when you actually train a dog by praising it for what it is doing well, like, oh my God, yes, you went outside. Like, yes, you're staying good on the leash. Like, good boy, good girl. Like, they want to make you happy and they want to keep going. Okay, now consider the fact that is what we need to train your brain to do. Okay, right now you are locking yourself up with your own crap in your own cage, and it's so awful. And we need to move you into the space of creating the foundation of praising you and being unconditionally loving to you and showing you that you deserve to have amazing things happen in your life and that you're great. Right? Like, this is really what makes the difference. And when it comes to life, it has been proven that, like, when we don't have that foundation, because let's be serious, we didn't all have perfect parents, right? My parents might have been a little judgmental at times or had, things to say. It was coming from good. It was just the only way they knew how to be, right? And it still kind of messes us up because then we end up being hard on ourselves. We end up being self critical, and we aren't trained in our minds to start looking at what is so amazing about us, right? If I asked you right now, have been the positive actions you've taken towards your health today? Just think about that for a second, right? Did you go for a walk today? Did you make your breakfast today? Did you stretch today? Did you drink water today? All my clients are health conscious people that take really good actions towards their health on a regular basis. And I'm sure you're that way too. But because your brain has not been trained in this way of setting the foundation of being nice to yourself and focusing on the positive, as soon as you have a cookie or a piece of chocolate, the whole thing goes out the window. Oh, now I failed. I suck at life. I hate myself. Now you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're seeing all your rolls, or you're pinching your fat, and you're looking at the scale and you're seeing it go up and you're feeling bloated all of a sudden. I gotta tell you, it's an eating disorder. It's so psychological. What we're dealing with is a mental thing. And I'd be like, no, I really am bloated. No, I really am getting fatter. No, look, I really can see it. I was just talking to a client yesterday, and they were talking about I think that my eyes actually are broken. I can't see myself the way that I actually am. And consider the fact that those mistakes that you're making with your food plan every day, or the imperfections that you're having, is feeding this story that then does psychologically make you start to see yourself in a different way. Now, here's the thing about that. If that was effective and actually had you say, okay, I'm actually going to do better now, and it's easier for me because I made that one thing and now I'm just going to do perfectly. Is that what it looks like? Absolutely not. What it looks like is basically you then beating yourself up for days and days, maybe trying to make it up at the gym, maybe Googling more diets that you can do or start tomorrow or do the next week. And you might even eat more because you're so stressed out about the fact that you failed again at your eating plan today. And it's not helping. It just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Why, if I'm stressed out about my weight, would I eat more? That always that when I was in the thick of my eating disorder stuff, that was what I was saying, I'm smart. This doesn't make sense. Okay, I saw that the scale went up today and now I'm eating more, or I'm starting another everything is to avoid feeling the pain of feeling like a failure, or you're not good enough, or what you're doing is bad and wrong. No good. It's just no good. Not helpful. All right. So what I really want you to understand and take really seriously is that if this is a thing for you, whether it's binging or purging or just overeating or just being super harsh to yourself, which is causing anxiety in your body, which is then causing more stress eating, to know that you need to take that seriously because it's not normal. It's not normal. And you can get out of it. It was just the normal fishbowl I was swimming in for the first 21 years of my life before I found hypnosis. And I didn't think I was ever going to get out of that fishbowl. I did not think that was possible at all. I have one client who, when I was talking to her, about signing up for the program, she's just you're just trying to sell me the next thing. Everybody's been promising me that they can help me stop binging and purging. Everybody's been trying to tell me that. And I've bought into every one of them, and all of them have failed me. What I said to her was consider the fact that they have all failed you because you have never taken full ownership for the actions you're taking in your life. You have been letting some diet or some other person tell you exactly what you need to do, and you can't get out of that. This is what you have to do to be successful. But and that can work for some people, but it stops working when you are fatigued from being so critical. You're already being that drill sergeant to yourself in the background. right? Just talked to a brand new client this morning, and he was like, I have known for a long time that I need to master self-love, that I need to learn how to be gentle to myself so that I can be a better human to other people out there, right? So that kind of coaching to you it's like the next toxic relationship. It's like you don't need somebody else telling you what to do and how fast and how hard, and like it feels bad, especially if you've come from that kind of background, right? It's like, but what if there was a different kind of coaching, a different kind of container where the practice is you learning how to trust yourself, you being able to feel into your body and decide what feels best to me, you being able to make empowered choices around food, you learning how to set boundaries with people so that you're not just saying yes and you really want to say no, learning how to set boundaries with yourself, learning how to forgive yourself, learning how to forgive others, learning how to communicate yourself better and your truth and to be the most authentic version of yourself. This is the only way you're going to be able to get out of this trap, and working on that eating disorder mindset, right? We had Hannah Hermanson on the podcast months back, and she talked about how she named her eating disorder Ed, right? And it's like all day long, consider that Ed is who's talking to you. And Ed, it's like you think Ed is like who is being nice, but it's like Ed is actually the one who is abusing you. It's like we need to train Ed to be a different way. We need to create a safe place for people to just relax, for you to be able to have peace around your food, body, and weight, for you to have joy in your life again, to be present with your kids and your family. This is what all our clients want to have at this point in their life. And I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with this in the past. I'm so sorry that there's been people that have tried to sell you things in the past for weight loss that, yes, I'm sure has helped you on your path. And I hope you can see that for yourself, because I firmly know that anything that you've invested yourself into with your time, energy, money, everything it's been something that you've needed to get you to here, right? And we create the value from everything that we do. Okay. And so regardless of what you've done before, I invite you to take a hard look at where you're at today. Do you have the eating disorder voice? Do you have the binging? Do you have the purging? Have you ever looked at your beliefs? Have you ever looked at your mindset? Have you ever worked on your emotional mastery? Because I guarantee you that if you're eating like that or you're having a disorder like that, it's because you have emotions in the background that you need to feel safe to feel them. You need to feel like you are worthy and deserving of love and acceptance, and not treating the world as your enemy and food as an enemy and other human beings as an enemy. It's like, and the food creates a wall. It's a numbing agent from you to be able to engage with the world and be your best self. And I want you to be able to be your best self. Truly, truly, truly. And I know that you can do it, and you need to take that first step. Okay, so this is not a diet plan. This is not fighting against your own instincts. This is not it's to support you in being able to surrender to this whole terrible journey of yo-yo dieting and feeling bad and up and down with your emotions and your mental state, and an invitation to stop pretending that you don't have an eating disorder that you need to take action on today. Okay, so I want to invite you to not ignore it. Make an empowered choice. If you know that you're not there yet, great. Keep following it. But if there's this little inkling in your head that says, like, I know that this is a problem and it's a priority for me now, then the invitation is there. I want you to contact us today. All right? Don't hesitate. Please engage with us. We are here all the time. We're here to help you. And anyway, I don't need to say anymore. You're great, and I care, and you may have an eating disorder, and you don't have to deal with that. You really, really don't. Signing out, and see you again soon.